Hey everybody, in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to create your own AI clone using HeyGen. It's going to look like you, it's going to talk like you, and it's going to become a huge part of our AI content creation machine. So what you just saw there actually was an AI avatar that I created in HeyGen, and this video is going to be all about that. I'm going to show you how to go into HeyGen and create that avatar. I'm going to show you how to set up this workflow inside of n8n, and then we're going to talk about actual real-life applications of this because as cool as it is that generate these, AI avatar videos, how can we actually use it to drive value? Where can we actually have some use cases for this technology? And so to start, we'll do a quick overview of this workflow you're looking at right now. Then we'll actually dive into HeyGen because surprisingly, setting this all up inside of HeyGen is actually a pretty easy process. The hardest process is going to be, kind of what I talked about before, the practical application and what you and your particular use case looks like. So let's get into it. So for our example here, what we are doing is we are creating an avatar that takes in daily AI news and then just talks about it. And then we post it to YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And so to do that, the way this workflow starts is you see we have a manual trigger and a scheduling trigger. In production, you use a scheduling trigger. So this posts, every day at, 4 o'clock, whenever you decide. It then uses Tavily to search the web for trending AI news. And then it gets sent to the script, title, and caption generator because it's going to create three things for us. First, the script, and that's what the AI avatar is actually going to read. Next, it also produces a title and a caption that we are going to need when we upload it to places like YouTube, TikTok, etc. Once we get past the prompt creation, then we're looking at the video creation piece. And this one's actually pretty easy. We're just sending an API request to HeyGen, and then we send another request to actually get the video. Now, the amount of time it takes to create the video differs, so we just kind of have a little polling loop right here to make sure we get it once it's done. Now, once that video has been created, we go down two paths. You'll see here we have the Google Drive path. So you might be of the opinion that, I don't want to have it automatically posted to social media. I just want it to be downloaded onto my Google Drive, onto my, Dropbox, and I'll take it from there, right? I'll edit it, I'll add different stuff. I want to be in charge. So that's what's happening up here on top. And then down below, we just have some automatic posting, right? So you'll then have the video of your avatar talking, again, sent to YouTube with the title and caption and as many other social media sites as you want. And we're using Blotato for this. Again, I'll put a link above where I dive into how to set up Blotato. You could be doing 9. We could have 9 social media platforms being posted to all at once every single day of you and your little AI avatar talking about the news, right? And then we'll also talk about alternatives like, upload posts and all sorts of things. But the big thing here is this is just one use case of this AI avatar that's doing news, right? Because that's an easy one, but there's a million of them under the sun. But this template, I think, remains, right? You need some way to generate information. And this is where AI kind of comes in, right? You're getting data from somewhere, whether that's news or whether that's your internal documentation. I mean, this could be like an internal newsletter that you send out, right, with your avatar. Whatever it is, you're getting data, you're sending it to AI, and it's creating scripts from there. We send the scripts to HeyGen. It does its thing. It creates the video. And then lastly, we go into publishing and posting, and that's all that happens here in this purple box. And so to start, we're actually going to dive into this part. We're going to talk about HeyGen. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to heygen.com. We're going to set up an account. You can do a free trial, and I'm going to show you how you can get your avatar up and running. So as you log into HeyGen, the first thing you're going to see is this pricing tab. We are just going to use the free trial. And I want you to note something. All of this stuff, all this pricing is if you're just using the web app, right? So I'm inside the web app creating things. There's an entirely different price structure for APIs, which in fact, we'll just dive into right now so I can show you. And this is the API pricing. You'll notice it's much more steep, right? We have $0 for the free, the 99, 330, and then, hey, enterprise, they're going to get their money out of you. So real quickly, let's talk about the API and how it works. So for the free one, it goes off credits, right? 10 free credits a month. Is that 10 videos? Maybe, maybe not. The way it works is every 30 seconds of video is half a credit. And if I did a 2-second long video, that's half a credit. If I did a 29-second video, that's half a credit, so on and so forth. So you can get, if you have short videos, 20 free videos a month. Now, the problem with that is on the free plan, it's going to be downscaled. So you're only looking at 720p. And you are also going to have a watermark on the bottom right. Could you get rid of the watermark? Probably if you wanted to. Just understand that's what you're dealing with. Now, if this is something you're doing for real, right? You actually want to do this at scale, you have a lot of content you want to put out and you want it to look more professional. Hey, the $99 a month, everything for free watermark is removed. So you can actually get a lot of work here. It's kind of a shame there isn't something in the middle, but $99 a month, it's not cheap, but for what this actually creates, and it's a pretty high quality video, it's not bad. So just understand the pricing structure coming into this. And everything we do today will be done on the free plan. All right, so here we are. We're gonna choose free, enter all your information, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. So here we are. Now, what we wanna do is we want to create our own avatar. So you're gonna come over here to the left where it says avatars. You're gonna create a new avatar. And also of note, you have all of these down here. HeyGen actually has a lot of like pre-created avatar stuff you can look at, but we want our own, right? So we're gonna do create new avatar. You only have this one available. So you're gonna click that. And then it's gonna go through a little video explaining what you need to do. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna hit get started down here, and then you're gonna record a video. It's gonna be for about 30 seconds to a minute. You can just talk to it however you want. And it's basically gonna get your video, your face, your voice, all that. So then it can create the content. So go ahead and do that. I'm gonna do it myself, and then I'll see you on the other side. Once you're done with that, HeyGen is kind of complete. It has your avatar ready to go. It just needs us to send it scripts for it to start making clones for us. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into n8n and get this workflow going. All right, so here we are inside of n8n, and let's just take it from the top. So we have our manual trigger, and then we have our schedule trigger. For the schedule trigger, do it for whenever you want. Obviously, if I was doing this news for real, I'd probably do something like 4, 5, or 6 p.m. and just have this run every day. Next, we have Tavily. If you've never used Tavily before, it's one of the community nodes. So make sure you've gone into settings if you're on the n8n cloud, enabled community nodes, and then you're just going to search for Tavily over here, and then it'll give you the option to download it. And you are going to need an API key for Tavily if you've never gone there before. It's just tavily.com. You log in, and the best part about Tavily is they give you 1,000 free credits every single month, which it basically is hundreds of searches. And right off the bat, you'll see your API key. It's right here. You just click that, and then you're going to be ready to go. So we're inside of Tavily. You need to connect your account. You're just going to do create new credential, and all you have to do is dump your API key in there that we just saved. And then you're connected. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a search. We're going to do a query. And for me, that query is always going to be the same, right? Because we're doing news. It's going to be top AI tech news for today. And I've added 2 options. I just wanted to check in the last 24 hours, essentially. And there's a lot of options in here you can play with as well. And you can see here over on the right where I've pinned the data, it's just searched a number of different news sites to give us that information. So now that I have all the data on the top AI news, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shove it into a large language model. In this case, I'm using OpenAI's 4.1 mini. And so you can see here, I didn't do anything fancy. I just took that entire thing, shoved it into the user prompt, right? It's not, parsed at all. And in the system message, I'm telling it, hey, you are an AI news reporter, and your task is to come up with 3 things. I want you to come up with a 30-second script for something like TikTok or YouTube talking about the major events in the last day. And then I want you to come up with a title, and I want you to come up with a caption that I can use on something like YouTube, right? And at the bottom there, you see the desired output. I say it's in JSON, and I want 3 things coming out of here: the script, the title, and the caption. Now, how did I come up with this system prompt? Did I come up with this on my own? No, all I did is I went to Gemini, which is my personal favorite LLM, and I just explained to Gemini what I just explained to you. I want a system prompt for a large language model that's going to take in the news and outputs those 3 things: script, title, caption. And honestly, that's how you should approach most system messages. You know what you want the system to do. You just don't know how to write it in a way that works for AI, usually some sort of markdown format. Well, AI knows how to do that. Just go to AI, tell it what you want, and then copy paste it in there. And we can see over here on the right, the actual output we got, right? We got the script. Hey, big moves in AI this week. OpenAI shutting down for a week to help employees recover from intense burnout. And some of the stuff about NVIDIA and some AI law stuff. So it gives me the title, and it gives me the caption as well. It even included some emojis and hashtags. And again, whatever AI gives you, feel free to come in here and play around with it. And if you have like a certain script, you want it like a style you want it to talk with, like the own way you talk, what you could totally do is record yourself write down how you would say it, and then shove it into the system prompt as well and be like, hey, talk in this manner. Okay, so we got our data, we figured out the script title and caption. Now comes time to actually go inside of HeyGen and do some HTTP requests. So the first HTTP request is going to be this one where we generate the video. And so the method is going to be post. The URL is going to be api.heygen.com v2 video generate. Now, where did I come up with that? Well, I found it in the documentation. Now, if you do a Google search for docs.heygen, you'll find this, or just go to docs.heygen.com. And over here on the left, if you've never looked at documentation before, all this is like the different commands essentially that you can send to their API. And so right here, we see on the left video generation. Well, what do we want to do? We want to generate a video, and we want to generate an avatar video v2. And all this stuff is all the different information you can send to it, right? These are all the different settings, all the different things, all the different little things you can tune to make the video what you want it to be. And this is a lot. And how are you supposed to know how to actually put this in to this, right? Our JSON thing. Why does this look so much different than what we were just looking at all here? Well, this one that I'm going to show you, and you see right here, very simple. And this is just to show you how it all works. Now, what I suggest you do is when you go through here, after you do this tutorial and you get it working, you're probably going to want to change some things. Well, what I would do if I was you is I would take this. Well, here, they even have a little Ask AI thing in here, which is kind of nice. But you could copy all this, bring it to your AI of choice and say, hey, I'm trying to do a HTTP request to HeyGen. These are the options I want to change. What would that look like? And it's going to spit out something that looks like this. Now, we're doing this one, which is very simple, which is just the character, the voice, and the dimensions, just so you understand how these things work. Now, in your particular template, and again, the template's in the Skool, you're going to see probably some question marks here, right, on the avatar and the voice ID. And we will get to those in a second. But the first thing we're going to do is just connect our account. So, post URL, we got that from the documentation. And then we're going to do a generic credential type. You're going to do header auth. And then for the header auth, this is where you are going to create a new credential. The name and for the value. So the name is going to be X API key. Again, where did I get that? Got it from the documentation. Because you can see here, over here in headers, right? You ever see on the right-hand side where I'm highlighting it? See where it says X API key, your API key? That's what we could send in the body. But instead of n8n, we're sending on the header. So you're going to type x-API key, and then we need our API key. Where do we get it? We're going to come up here to the top left inside of HeyGen. You're going to go to the top one, personal, the settings, subscriptions and API, and then HeyGen API, and I'll tell you how many credits you got left. And then you're just going to hit copy down here. Copy that, come back in here, paste. I suggest you rename it something, and then we save it, right? And it was successfully created. Now, every time I do any sort of HTTP request related to HeyGen, I'm always going to set it up that way with authentication, generic auth typing header, and then the header authorization. You don't need to send a query parameter. You don't need to send the headers. Now we just need to send the body, JSON using JSON. Now, we've kind of talked about this a little bit already, right? We still need our avatar ID, and we need our voice ID. Where do we find those? Back inside HeyGen. So if you go back into HeyGen, we're going to go to avatars on the left. You're going to click on your avatar and make sure you're in here. We want our copy avatar ID. You don't want copy group ID or anything like that if you were on the page before. You want copy avatar ID. Copy it, come back into here, paste that in. Now we want to do voice. Now to get your voice ID, once you're inside of HeyGen, you're going to come down to AI voice under avatars, and you should see your voice clone here. Now, if you don't see it, it might just take a little time for it to populate. Try refreshing the page. It will show up. And then you're just going to get voice ID, copy that, come into here and put in your voice ID. Now what we have here as well is the input text. Now this is the script. This is what our avatar is actually going to say. And we can see that I mapped this from our script title and caption generator. So I just dumped that right in there. We also have a callback URL into there. You don't really need to worry about that. That's it. You're then going to hit execute step. And then on the right, what you're going to see is you're going to see a video ID populate. Now that's the actual ID that's been associated with the particular AI avatar video that HeyGen is creating, but it doesn't mean it's done yet, because the next HTTP request you're going to make is a GET request. And you can see the URL here. Again, we got that from the documentation. We are authenticated using the general type, header auth, same thing as before. But this time we are sending a query parameter. And so what we're sending them is saying, hey, is our video ready yet? By the way, this is our video ID. So you need this video underscore ID there. And then we've mapped in that video ID value. So you can see here on the right, you see status completed, and then it gives us a few things. It gives us a thumbnail as well as a video URL. Now, it's not going to be completed right away. It takes a couple minutes for it to generate the video. And if it's not completed, it's going to say processing. And if it says processing, the way this works is this if statement checks to see, hey, is the status completed? If not, it waits 30 seconds, pings it again, and it completes this process until it's done. Now, once your video is done, we then have the ability to either download the video or get it ready via Blotato. Now, for the download video, all that's happening is we are getting, let's execute the previous nodes, is we are getting that URL. So it's going to be get, and then the URL is this one, video URL. So we just drag that in there. Now, if we follow this video URL, it would take us to a page with the video that was created. And all this is doing is downloading it onto n8n, so then we can push it to our Google Drive or Dropbox or wherever you want that video to reside. And so here in this node, I'm just using Google Drive in this case. Input data field name is just going to be data, and then the file name, name it whatever you want. I have a dynamic value where it just names it based on the date. So 7/1 AI video. Now let's go into the social media posting part. Again, we're using Blotato. I'll link it again above. I'm not going to deep dive on this video how to set up Blotato, but it's a great resource for posting across multiple socials, up to 9. If you don't want to use Blotato, I also suggest checking out Upload-Post. It's another good website, and I have that linked over here. So we send the video to Blotato's backend, so that's what's happening here. Again, post URL, blotato.com v2/media. You should have this all ready to go if you've done the Blotato lesson. And then what we're sending is the video URL again. Kind of same thing as before with the Google Drive, right? We're just giving it the URL, and then we're mapping the URL information, which is right here, right? We just drag and drop that in. Next, we push it to as many social media platforms as we want, and we'll demo YouTube here. So inside of YouTube, right, this is still the Blotato stuff. What you need to change here is going to be obviously your account ID. That'll be different for you. And then you have the title, the text, and the URL. Now, these are just red because of the nature of having all this data pinned, but the title and the text, as I'll show you on the actual YouTube video itself, are what came from that large language model node that had to generate title, caption, script. So that's all this is saying. And again, when it comes to the particular platform you're posting on, for example, here on YouTube, right, this is going to be unlisted. Maybe you want it private, maybe you want it public. All those things will be different depending on the platform. And with this setup, it's just one button press and it starts running. And let me show you what the final product looks like for one I did on YouTube earlier. OpenAI is shutting down for a week to help employees recover from intense burnout as... Okay, so what did we see here? You saw my AI clone talking. It actually does a pretty good job with the background. Things to note, hey, right, we're on the free version. So down here, you're going to have that watermark, but it did the title. So AI shakeup, OpenAI pause, blah, blah, blah. And then it also did the caption. And again, all these things, you want different captions, you want a greater description, all of that you can customize inside of the n8n workflow. So that's pretty much the lesson, guys. As you saw, this entire HeyGen setup of getting the avatar created and using it, actually really, really easy. The hard part, as always, is how do we derive value from this tool? And in this video, we did a really simple, use case of our little AI newscaster, but that's probably not the use case you are gonna need to get your money's worth. So before this video ends, I just wanted to take a quick moment to shout out my Skool community, which I think is a great place to check out if you're trying to level up your AI skills, no matter what your technical background is. We have tons of guides on AI automations and AI agents, getting you from zero all the way to building really sophisticated workflows that can get you value no matter what your use case is. We also have a thriving community of fellow AI builders who are in all sorts of different experience levels. So no matter where you're at, Chase AI Skool community is a great place for you. And that question of figuring out where your money's worth is going to be different from everyone who uses this. But I hope with this lesson, you were able to build a foundation where the gears are starting to turn in your mind and you're starting to think of, wow, how can I really use this to scale out my content game? So as always, let me know what you thought of this video and if you ran into any trouble. And I'd love to see what you guys are building with this HeyGen workflow.